Hello, I'm Rupert Turton. Welcome to the Business Spotlight interview, where we talk to local business owners about their journey. And this week, I'm joined by Gwen Tavares from the Collective One. Gwen, welcome.
Thank you very much, Rupert.
So let's dive straight in there, actually. I think the first question has to be, tell us about the Collective One.
So the Collective One is a marketing and advertising agency. We specialize in brand strategy, which is a scary word for most people. But what we try and do is we're trying to find the why for your business, and then the why kind of goes into everything else you do. So we were established just as COVID started, when businesses had to change, and we thought this is the time that we can really get involved and help people change what they do, how they do it, and how they connect.
Can I just ask you, just explain, I know this because I've, except I've just forgotten the guy's name, but explain what the why is in somebody's business.
So Simon Sinek started.
Thank you. Yes, that's the one.
And the why is not why because we want to make money. The why is, who do you want to be to people? So the difference between a business and a brand is a business is just about a transaction, where a brand is about emotional connection. So we try and get people down to, their vision, their mission, their goals. Why are you doing this? What do you want to do? What do you want to change for a business, for a person, in the workplace? What is your why? And then is that clear in the things that you do? Rather than saying we're here to make money, we say we're here to, change the way that people do things.
Yeah. Yes. And then that, of course, drives the how, which in turn drives the what as well.
Yes, all of those things. But you have to start with why.
Absolutely. So you mentioned just then that you started during COVID as well. So what was the biggest learning during COVID and starting a business in that period?
I think it was that everything will change and you have no control. So everything will change day by day. We all thought something was going to last for 2 weeks and then 2 months and then 2 years. So you need to be adaptable. And in order to be adaptable, you need to trust other people. You have to build a team around you that you can trust, where you say you don't have to be at your desk, but you have to deliver. So that was our biggest learning, really stop being a clock watcher and start just empowering people to do their best work when they can do their best work. People were working from home with kids and dogs, and we had no control over anything, but what we could do is we could trust that everyone was going to do what they promised to do, and I think that's the cornerstone of business.
No, absolutely. So what was the biggest learning during that period then?
Well, that everyone had a lot to deal with, and that we could resist change or we could embrace change. So our learning was just, when your client says they don't have budget, don't say, okay, well, call me when you do. Say, okay, well, if you had a small amount of budget, this is what we could do. Or, let's just do this together. Let's do this together. Realize how we could support each other in other ways. So whether it's, like us working on their stuff and then promoting us to other businesses that they're in contact with, things became less transactional and more just really supportive. And I think that's what that we were lucky to learn.
Oh, that's lovely, actually. So building the relationship and building a bit of a sense of community around what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Because we were very lucky. We had a lot of support, but in the same breath, some businesses didn't, but they still needed to make transactions. And if it came down to things that were just conversations to be had, waiver your consultation fee, just sit down, have the conversation, because when someone else's business grows and you were the one that helped them grow, they will remember you. And when their business grows, they'll come back.
Yeah, no, good point. Very good point. And how about the changes? That's obviously with your client relationship. The other side of that is the relationship with your team as well. Did you have to change the way you worked with them when you were all working remotely from each other?
Definitely. We had to kind of understand that people had more to do in life than just sit in front of their computer. And we all suffered greatly from screen fatigue. So, we had to kind of enforce things like breaks and tell people Some people would just become so bored they would just sit and work, and where the opposite, others would just not want to be in front of the screen and just want to be out. It was a time where many people either stepped back or stepped forward. I was one of those that stepped forward and got extremely busy and just like threw myself into every business opportunity that came along. Some of my team were like, wait, this is the time to be with my family because this is maybe the only chance I'll get. And the biggest thing that came out of that was understanding that we're not all on the same journey and embracing people for who they are and, communication. If somebody said, you know what, this week, it's a tough time for me. I've got both of my kids at home. My husband's working full time. Just saying that's fine. Let's catch up in the evenings when the kids are asleep. Just being flexible because we're all human first.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And actually, of course, homeschooling must play into that as well. I'm sure some of your team have got kids, they've been homeschooling. So not only were they trying to do their own work, they also had to flex around what they needed to do for the kids' education as well, which must be so difficult.
And on top of that, the isolation, the fact that we had, no support, no granny to phone to help out. We were all... Much as we were with our families, we were isolated from social time. So we had to put things in the diary that were like, let's do a quiz together. Let's just catch up. Let's everyone, let's have lunch together, even if it was having a sandwich through Teams or through Zoom or whatever. Just the fact that you felt like things were social, because that was a big part of what me particularly, I'm a social person. That was one of the things I craved the most.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So as we're coming to the end of COVID, hopefully now, I'm going to regret saying that. What are your aspirations for the company in the next 5 years or so?
So in the next 5 years, I want to say I've helped 100 busineses, whether they are, that's 100 at a minimum. I mean, we're not all on 20 something, but I think, to say 100, I want to say we've helped them discover their why.
Yeah.
The difference, I think, with Collective One is if you came to me and you said, I've got money, let's spend it on social media ads. My first question to you would be but do you know why you're doing what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because everyone can jump on a trend, but if you don't start with growing from the right base, then, I'm not in the business to take your money. I'm in the business to grow your business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do love that as well. I think so many business owners you talk to haven't really thought about why they have a business beyond they need to get an income at the moment, but they haven't thought about the longer term program with it as well. Yeah. So what do you think are the biggest opportunities then in the marketing and advertising industry in the next 5 years?
I think there's a lot of noise. There's so much noise out there and everyone thinks, TikTok is the new thing. We have to do TikTok. It's not. What is right for you is where your clients are and understanding where your clients and your customers are, where their heads are at, going on the journey of a customer, not your own journey as a brand, but go on the journey of a customer. And I think, the opportunity is there's so many platforms to do research now. Like you can ask questions on social media and say, before you launch new packaging, you can, put it out there and say, which one appeals more to you? Do you like this?
Yeah.
Do you like that? There's the power of communities. And I think that's where brands really need to think about growing. Don't think about growing your sales number. Think about growing your community, because your community will have trust in you and then they will they will recommend your brand. So the opportunities, instead of thinking social media is this big bad thing, you've got to think about how do I embrace it? Because a generational thing is the kids of today who are, the TikTokers. One day they will be what we call today the Facebookers, who are, everyone thinks Facebook is dead. It's not. A lot of the older generation use Facebook primarily. Again, know your customer, then choose your platform, then connect with your audience.
Yes, actually, another really good point, because to summarize what you've just said, I think it's actually choose the platform for the market that you're heading for. Don't try and do all platforms. You
can do them all, but you're going to be very exhausted.
Yes, absolutely. There's an awful lot to learn to do them all at once, isn't it?
Exactly.
So with your recent experience then, Gwen, what would you say to anyone thinking of going into business?
I would say before you start thinking about what you're going to sell, think about who you're going to sell to and think about what they need.
Yeah.
So we can't create a need, but we can make people want things. So you have to put yourself second and your customer first. It's a very difficult thing to do, especially when you start a business. You think what I do is brilliant, and what I do people will love because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Try and pull the business founders and the brand away from each other to a certain extent, because the point is to grow a business that can live independently from you, so that Rupert, you can go on holiday and know that whoever is running Action Coach is running Action Coach in the same way that you would. So we personality behind the brand, or business to brand is about taking a business and turning it into a brand, putting the emotion behind it, giving you your vision, your mission, your goals, all these things that are very scary for people.
Yeah.
Once you have these, it's a handful of things, it's 5 things, it's 10 slides. Anyone who works for your company comes and starts and reads this and goes, aha, I get it.
Yeah.
Then there's no need to police or to monitor anyone, because there's one thing that everyone is striving for, and it's not what I'm striving for, it's what we as a brand are striving for.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Establish that early on before you kind of have to question, do I go vegan or not?
Mm.
What are my pillars? What are the things? If my pillars are sustainability, then having vegan options is a good thing. But if let's say I'm not a vegan, then can my brand sell vegan things? Yes, it can, because my brand is not me.
Yes, absolutely. But also, actually, what you've established is around the vision and the mission for the business, and also the culture inside it, and what you're trying to represent in marketing terms is also absolutely key to running a business as well. Getting everybody on board, building the culture, it plays out to so many parts of the business.
Exactly.
So let me ask you a slightly more personal question then. Who is the first person that comes to mind when you think about success?
So it always, first thing that comes to your mind is like a celebrity. Like, I want to be like the celebrity who's so successful. And I took a step back and I thought, no, it's actually somebody that I know that she wouldn't even know I was saying it was her. Katie Watson, she's one of my clients.
Yeah.
And I saw her build a business through moving countries, through having 2 children, through COVID. She's built such an amazing business and done it through, having a baby, juggling new staff leaving. She's just stayed strong. And I know I've looked at her and I've said to her, you're like a superwoman, because you do it all and never seem to break a sweat. I think any woman who can have a good family life and build a business at the same time, that's my hero.
So what in Katie's personality actually allows her to do that so successfully, do you think?
I think her flexibility, her ability to, look at 100 inquiries that are on her plate.
Yeah.
Keep some, and then do it between everything else that she has to get done. Not being rigid, I have to be at my desk to sell a holiday. I can do it from the couch, from the car, from wherever I am. The passion for what she does, and then everything else is kind of circumstantial. Yeah.
So organization and focus, I think, I'd summarize that. Do you think you have those personality traits?
Organization is something I struggle with, but I have a great admin team for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think everyone should embrace their strengths. Creatives are not necessarily known for organization. And that's one of the core things that I think of when I think of my team, is we do something called strength finding and allow people to embrace their strengths. So organization, maybe not, but focus, definitely. When I know I have a problem to solve, I won't stop until I solve it. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll wake up and I'll be like, that is the answer.
Oh, I suspect so many business owners will resonate with that thought, suddenly waking up with the answer at 3 in the morning and then, I've got to just remember this till 6 o'clock so I can do something about it.
A notepad and a pen next to your bed is your best friend.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Gwen, it's been lovely talking to you. Before we finish, are there any offers or anything information you'd like to include either in the post associated with the video or the newsletter?
Yeah, well, to anyone who has a business who wants to know if they are a brand, I would offer a free brand audit. So it could be call with myself where we will just take a look at what you have, what you're doing, and come back with suggestions on what you need. So if you think you have a brand, but you're not sure, or you know you have a brand and you're not sure if your brand is right, or you just have a business or a business idea and you want to take it to brand level, the Collective One would love to help you, just have a 30-minute chat, look at what you're doing, who you're doing it for, and do you know your why? And if you don't know your why, don't feel bad. Many of us, I've worked with businesses that have been there for 15 years that don't know their why. And when you present the why to them, they're like, yes, that's what I've been saying.
Yeah. Love it, absolutely. I'll include your contact details in the description for the video as well, so people can see how to contact you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Gwen, thanks for talking to us today. It's been lovely talking to you and to your experience, especially during COVID and where the business is going, and look forward to working with you at some point in the future as well. Thank you, Gwen.